I learned the most important lesson in my life from Pocahontas. I wish I had taken a little more serious.
Pocahontas!
These white men are dangerous. Excuse me for speaking with hyperbole, just a little bit facetiously. Not trying to be offensive. By dangerous, I don't mean they trying to eradicate us with AR-15s. As a matter of fact, that's a conversation to be had separately. Just so happens that conveniently, their arrival in predominantly black and brown communities are a threat. An indication to early gentrification. You see the infiltration of one and then some, then the natives of the neighborhood wondering what inflation has done, rents going up, groceries going up, cost of living going up, everything going up besides their income just because the neighborhood was labeled on the up and up. The wealthy and well-off have the audacity, the gall, the gumption to come into our hood like a bunch of culture vultures and Christopher Columbus. Change it, rename it, while replacing and displacing the people that originally made it. Take hoods like Williamsburg, Bushwick, and Fulton. How they look now and how they look then. A flavorful city continuously diluted before any more moving. Just a reminder. This is not your Brooklyn. Yeah, blocks look gritty and grimy, and it's nice that shit's getting cleaned up and polished and a little more shiny, but it's getting a little too pricey. Ironically, by the once priced out of Manhattan, making Brooklyn now the second most expensive place to live in. Barclays got different faces moving in, businesses and residents whose families been there for generations getting pushed out and panicking because they can no longer afford it, while a certain demographic are ecstatic for more organic stores while they ignoring what happens to the people who made home there before them. Do or die, Bed-Stuy, home of the most notorious, known for hip-hop and a glorious black community. Brownstones actually owned by brown folk, now surrounded and crowded around fancy buildings and apartments made for the suburban people wanting something edgy and urban, coming in with their hot paying professions, complaining about the projects and the people in Section 8 housing, yet browsing from Gates Ave to Ralph to Atlantic to see the quintessential neighborhood and the dazzling architecture promised on Zillow for photos on their socials that fit their rustic aesthetic, only to crop out the people that made it to begin with. Park Slope, already known to be a wealthy spot, now has a subsection dubbed South. What they really mean and what they want is to call it Dark Slope. And that invisible division is where they complete their equation and subtract the minorities out, get the lower class out, drown the middle class out. The culture they came for is now the same one they consistently crossing out. Astro Lantern to Luna Park. Wonder Wheel and Cyclone would probably be wiped out had they not been declared city landmarks. Hasidics and Willie B struggle to fight what they call a bitter decree from heaven, making ends meet get increasingly hard for Puerto Ricans as the neighborhood faces an influx of drifters and hipsters paying double their salary to sleep comfortably in condominiums. Third Ave Sunset where men would lust and throw dollars at girls bouncing ass and shaking titties. Now home of a brand new industry city with overpriced shops and boutiques and not one single part actually catering to community needs. Red Hook, Gowanus, Cobble Hill, Dumbo, Brooklyn Heights, Greenpoint, Barham Hill, Park Slope. Pick a hood close to the East River at random. See how much it's gotten bigger than anyone could have ever imagined. Massive, with brand new buildings, gorgeous views, amenities, and attractions, unaffordable to the majority of the people who used to inhabit. This ain't the same Brooklyn Big Soul cracking. It ain't the same Brooklyn Jay rocked about while Blackstreet sang in. It ain't the Brooklyn them boys was beastin'. Not the Brooklyn from Saturday Night Fever Tony Manero was feasting. It ain't the same Brooklyn Spike Lee portrayed and Do the Right Thing. And it damn sure ain't the same Brooklyn Kim was putting her lights up in. It ain't much of authentic Brooklyn that remains. People came and coined the culture, complained and changed the structure. The substance that made it home to many is no longer the same. There was room for improvement, but it could have been a collaborative movement. But city planning and expanding and lack of understanding from entitled elitists have straight up ruined it for their own amusement. But for too many, it's abuse, it's theft. It's losing your home, your heart, your culture, your essence. Meanwhile, they can go back to whatever unknown spot they moved from and see absolutely no difference. As much as the natives meet them with resistance, persistence of the gentrifiers plow the possibilities of coexistence. This is not your Brooklyn. Spreading love is the way, but it's no one's to take. Clean us off the canvas and you left with a blank slate. Just a white sheet without the blueprint. Win or lose this, without us the city ain't the same. Might as well change the name. Brooklyn is more than a borough, more than a location. Without the history, the culture, and the pieces of the puzzle from its authentic creation, whatever's left over when the silica settles will just be a cheap imitation.